Of course, Ben Simmons is going to get a back injury that will stop him from playing in Philly on March 10th. I know I'm not supposed to question that. We don't actually know what he's going through, but I cannot help but hear this report and think, oh, how convenient.
He had a little setback with the back injury at the end of last week. They kind of slowed him down. That March 10th date, the one that we've all circled, I think it's looking very unlikely at this point.
Yeah, that
just run out of real estate.
Yeah, it's not happening.
It's all right. We still have so much more to come here on NBA Today. James Harden.
By the way, I really wish that I knew what Perk was saying under his breath right there. He's probably saying Ben is weak-minded and this is going to go really bad for the Nets in the playoffs. But all right, I know that's really harsh. Let's look at Ben's actual injury history. His first back injury was in October of 2018. He missed one game with back tightness. So yes, he actually does have a history here. February 2020, he misses 9 games with a nerve issue in his back. Not too different from what Draymond Green is dealing with right now. And that is serious. May 2021, he misses 2 games with back tightness. So yes, we are seeing a pattern here. I ran a poll that asked what people thought, and most people say they think he's faking it, but almost half either said it's legit or they just don't know. And I get that based on his history, but this really bothers me. October 2021, Ben arrives at Sixers training camp after demanding a trade. Doc Rivers kicks him out of practice for showing no effort and being a distraction. Then he says, oh, I can't come back because I now have a back injury. But guess what? He never complained about his back before that to team doctors. An anonymous source said they expected he would use some medical excuse to get out of practice. The doctors checked him out and said he's healthy. So Ben just refused to see the Sixers doctors again. I am not a medical expert, but I know one on YouTube. So I reached out to him, Brian Sutterer. He has like over 500,000 subscribers. He breaks down player injuries. So I asked him what he thinks about all this.
You know, I always am going to default to being on the player's sides in these situations. So I think he legitimately wants to be out there. And either him or the Nets medical staff just doesn't feel like he's ready. I think you got to give the benefit of the doubt to somebody who hasn't been playing for a long time.
All right, so you give him the benefit of the doubt. I don't think he's earned the benefit of the doubt at this point.
Yeah, that's totally fair.
We all know that Ben Simmons avoids pressure situations. Some players thrive on it. He hates it. I look at like Joel Embiid, who actually plays better when the crowd is booing him. He almost loves it. Ben, on the other hand, will do anything to avoid it. Remember when he passed up that easy shot in Game 7 against the Hawks? Do you ever ask yourself why? The reason is he didn't want to get fouled and go to the free throw line. Ben was shooting 33% from the line in that series, and he would rather risk losing a playoff series than have to go to the free throw line. So if he's willing to risk his team's entire season, do I think he's willing to fake a back injury to not face the Philly fans? Well, yeah.
Well, yeah.
But I know some of you are gonna say I am being too harsh, that I don't actually know. Well then, how do you explain what Steve Nash himself just said last week?
As it pertains to Ben, what exactly is it that's keeping him off the court right now? Is it conditioning or is it something else?
Conditioning. We're just kind of trying to get him to a place where he can, it's been a long layoff, right? So he hasn't played NBA basketball for a long time. So just trying to work through that.
It's conditioning! No mention of Ben Simmons' back. Okay, so he was trying to get reconditioned maybe, and then he hurt his back. How convenient. But guys, I have to tell you about today's sponsor. It is Fission Energy Drinks, who have quickly become my favorite energy drink company, which says a lot because I have been drinking those for a long, long time. First of all, the packaging is beautiful. Look at this video about the first time I got a Fission box in the mail. This thing is like Apple or Nike level presentation for an energy drink. And you would think, oh, well, yeah, they put so much into their packaging. How much does this cost? One of their cartridges, which is really easy to use, you just fill up the water bottle, put the cartridge on, and you're good to go, is $4, but it has the caffeine of 4 energy drinks. So despite looking great, tasting great, it only costs about $1 an energy drink. Right now, I am still on Jackpot, which is one of their great flavors. In honor of St. Patrick's Day, they got a little leprechaun right there on the package. Whatever level of caffeine you're in the mood for, it goes from like, I don't know, 30 grams of caffeine, just barely little, like as much as a Coca-Cola, all the way up to like 500 milligrams, which you'll never need. All you gotta do is use the little dial on the top of the cap. It's super discreet. You don't walk around looking like obviously you're drinking an energy drink. It could just be a water bottle. So guys, click on the link in the description for 10% off your first order of Fission. Thanks so much to Fission for being a sponsor. And why does he need to take 3 weeks to get reconditioned anyway? He's 25 years old. What about like gray-haired Goran Dragic? He didn't play in a game for like 3.5 months, but now he's playing like 15 minutes a night. And no one's asking Ben to play more than 15 minutes. What was Dragic doing before Brooklyn signed him? He was working out on his own while the Raptors found a new team. What was Ben doing? He was working out on his own. So there was no way that just reconditioning would have him out until past March 10th when they played Philly. So I had to come up with some other excuse. Yes, I could be wrong, but all of the signs, including Steve Nash, say he's faking it. But really, this all points to a much bigger issue for the Nets. What if the Nets and the Sixers meet in the playoffs? Right now, the Sixers are the 2 seed, the Nets are the 8 seed with about 18 games left, and I could easily see Philly staying at the 2 with how great they've been. To me, the Nets' best case scenario is the 7 seed with Kevin Durant back. I don't think they could get higher than the 7 seed. They're going to be in the play-in tournament. They are 4.5 games back of 6th place. Even if the Nets went on a huge win streak, it would require the 1 through 6 teams going on a big losing streak. And have you seen the top 6 in the East? Bulls, Sixers, Bucks, Cavs, and Celtics. They are all really solid, so I think the Nets will be in the play-in. And if they win the play-in tournament, which they would be the 7th seed. And if Philly is 2, that is a first round matchup. Philly with home court advantage against the Nets in round 1, and I am rooting so hard for that. The Sixers would dominate that series. Not only do you get a scared Ben Simmons in that series, but you get Joel Embiid, who I know would love to just embarrass Ben on the court. Can you imagine like a really motivated Joel Embiid who's already playing like an MVP against Ben Simmons? I would pay to see this. Yes, Kevin Durant will keep them in that series. Of course, Kyrie Irving if he's able to play full time. But all Philly has to do is just foul Ben and watch him melt down at the free throw line. Also, can we talk about how great James Harden has been in Philly? And I don't want to overreact here. It's just been a couple of games. But so far, he is a perfect fit. His ball dominant style, I know, is still kind of annoying. But all he has to do is just dump it to Embiid, who still dominates. It also bothers me that James Harden just doesn't do anything when he doesn't have the ball in his hands, but that kind of works with Embiid. He can just be a spot-up shooter, which works perfect. My one big concern is the shooting around those two guys because they traded Seth Curry. I'm seeing a lot of Matisse Thybulle open threes. I really hope that Tease is just in the gym working on his threes because he is going to get so many of those. If he can make teams pay for leaving him open, the Sixers are in the finals. I also love how Tyrese Maxey is their 3rd best player. Like, you've got a Tobias Harris who is in his late 20s on a max contract, but this 21-year-old 21st overall pick is playing like a veteran. By the way, James Harden was dealing with that hamstring issue when he got traded. He missed 4 games, and he is back to playing like 35 plus minutes a night and dominating. I don't like the way he left Houston or Brooklyn, but Ben Simmons truly disgusts me. Everything from his attitude to his game, how he's just never improved since he's come in the league. He is one player who is really easy to hate. Am I being too harsh? If you're one of the people who said on the poll that either you believe Ben or you just don't know, did I change your mind with this? I hope I changed a lot of people's minds who are Laker fans about trading LeBron James, because at this point, I think they have absolutely no other choice but to trade LeBron. I made a whole video breaking it down right here.